Okay. Okay. So, let's give this a go. Played this Skyblock on and off for many years. I know a decent chunk of the first, I say 50 hours. I'm not sure I know too much past that point, but that should be more than enough. A few bits that I've learnt along the way with this mod pack, but mostly the same stuff. Pick some saplings. I don't need that many apples. Some bone meal. I doubt I'm gonna fall off, but just in case, keep some stuff. So, as you can tell, just 3x3 dirt island. It's one of the more original Skyblocks, but the mod pack is massive. I've never completed it. Ever. I've only gotten into mid-stage of the game, I think. So we'll see how long I can go for this time. Nice. So we got our sapling back. We got some wood. So I do not like using the slab method. So we are going to just expand standardly, and I will be shuffling it all around in a bit. To be honest, it's probably better. Yeah. Don't eat all my bone meal doing this. Please don't be a mutant tree. Hate trying to clear them. Especially on my little 3x3. Would be a nightmare. Anything new? Ooh, saplings. Saplings. Very lucky. Very happy. Expand this way, I guess. We got two, so we'll finish that off and then we'll do the next side. But that means we've got a more centrally location to get ourselves caught in. So, bone meal is a little bit of a rarer resource to come across. Something else you'll notice, and I really hate it about this map, if I jump on here, you can see how much brighter the void becomes. I think it's something to do with the Y level. Don't know, I forget. This might be underground, technically, so we will build up and we'll put everything up, because I prefer my blue sky block. So this level will probably break later. So don't expect to be seeing the darkness too much. Just the tree. Better if I'd moved over a bit. There's not going to be too much gameplay for the first good few hours, to be honest. It's going to be mostly me putting a few bits and pieces together before I can really get going with things. But now that we've got our first platform sorted, we can look to start making the cobblestone generator. And we can look to start making tools and bits and pieces like that. So, crafting table, we will need one eventually. We're going to go 1, 2, this. I'm not going to make any wooden tools, Wooden tools are pathetically useless in this mod. Diamond tools are arguably a lot worse as well. Diamond tools are straight up only used for crafting recipes. They have 1 durability and will break on use. The end of discussion, but that's just it. Diamond is gone. Now, later into this run, I'm going to decide whether I want to speed this up or not. For the early game, I normally have 1 house rule, just to speed things up, but I might be able to find enough to do to just kind of ignore that step for a while. And the 1 house rule is diamonds and emeralds have the exact same drop rate. Emeralds are completely and utterly useless in every regard, shape and form, with no exception in the early game, pretty much. I am trying desperately to remember how to do this, and I think I remember. I need 1, 3. So diamonds are a little funky. They have 1 and 1 use only. There is nothing else to them. Emeralds, sorry. They have no uses early game at all. They might have tinkers. Diamonds are just for crafting, but you need a lot of them. There's tons of stuff to this mod pack. So is it 4 across? I think it's 4. I think it's this one that needs to go. Wrapped around a bit quick. So I have source blocks, so I'm hoping I don't mess this up. This goes here. This goes here. Bubble forms here. Yep, I did it right. Okay. So. Wooden pickaxe with 5 durability. Hell yeah. We gotta hope to get exceptionally lucky that the cobblestone does not yeet itself into the lava like that. And again. And again. Please give me 1. Thank you. I needed the 1 because I would like to make stone pickaxe with 63 durability. And can you notice that planks only makes 2 sticks? Just to be cruel. Sticks are actually kind of annoying to get. Right, there we go. Tea is done. So now we kind of mine for a while. I am going to make a stone axe, because the first thing I need to do is to try and lava-proof this as much as I possibly can before the entire place catches fire. Fun, right? So all of that work I just put down, I need to remove. Pretty much immediately. So the first big item we'll probably go for is a block breaker. This stone axe we will take. Take a bit more. A bit risky. But I like to fill everything back in. Kind of feels a bit weird if you don't fill it all back in. One thing I will let happen and the reason I let that happen is if I come here, I have a much bigger waterway. If, for whatever reason, I actually need it. I hope I don't, because hopefully we're going up, not down this time. I go down quite often for setting this up and building it, but again, the skybox is so miserable. There to go up. Isn't this fun? Mining away at the cobblestone. I've still got a decent chunk of base I would like to stonify to, you know, try and not have the lava catch on fire. This will be fine for now without a light source, because we're so close. Like, if we press F7 we can actually see the lighting. If it is nighttime, and it is yellow, something can spawn here. The only thing this doesn't show is when the player is within range. If I was to do this, well, if there was enough stuff covering it, this would turn red. And that would indicate that it will spawn at any time. Something could spawn there at any time. So, once we have this up and running, we are going to start working towards an item called a block breaker. Now, if I remember right, to get a block breaker, you need a diamond pickaxe, an iron ingot, redstone, some wooden planks, and cobblestone. The block breaker that I like to use, at least. There are... I'll get to that in a bit. To get the iron, redstone, and diamonds, obviously we can't easily do that from just lava and water. So we end up doing something called sieving. Now, if you remember right, there was something called a chicken hammer in the chest. And a chicken stick, sorry. And we'll be using that for a little bit. If we hammer the cobblestone that we have in our inventory, we can turn that cobblestone into gravel. And then we can turn the gravel into sand, and then we can turn the sand into dust. And from all of these pieces being turned into other pieces, we can send them through a sieve. I'm going to try using a different sieve. I have a personal sieve that I quite like, but I think the others are more scalable. I'll have a look and see, I guess. I believe the other sieves are more scalable, and so we will try them out this time. I've never had an issue with resource input, but I've played quite slowly. And our base is mostly safe fish. Still not. Because, you know, we have to still build trees here near the lava that we now can't move. But there wasn't much point pushing it even further out. It would just mean that we need to spend more wood to go fix a problem, and or make a tiny wood bridge, and if the tiny wood bridge caught fire, then, well, we'd probably be scrambling. Or dying. Dying is certainly an option there. So, back to this for a minute then. We're gonna get 64 of this, and then I will go use the chicken stick to make the gravel. In the meantime, we need to harvest some more trees, don't we? And hope they don't catch fire. So I'll harvest this. I will set up some trees using the bone meal still. We're going to start not using the bone meal as much soon. Well, actually, we probably can. There's more than enough to keep going, isn't there? Because we can swap over to appetite from bone meal. Yeah. I'm always quite conservative with the initial bone meal, but it doesn't need to be. No, we've got our stack. Okay. So, we will need a little bit more. We can take a decent chunk of these and put them away, because we do not need that many. Okay. We are going to harvest this tree. Do not like it anyway. Too low to the ground. But I want a little bit more wood before I do the next step. Get that wood. We'll make another axe. Hold of that for a minute. We need this, or like this. Yeah, a crook. A crook is. Sorry, this is starting to annoy me far too much now. Yeah, I'll do. So a crook is an interesting item. If we plant a tree, grow the tree up, we use a crook on the leaves, we can get a higher chance of apples than the usual, and a higher chance of saplings as well. But we are after something else. There we go, we got it. It is a silkworm. So we'll finish this tree off. Hopefully we'll get a second silkworm if we are lucky. That would certainly speed this up, and we did not. Okay, so we plant the oak sapling. We grow the tree. I hate this tree, but it'll do. Plant the silkworm in the tree, and now the leaves are infested. These infested leaves will turn into... well, they're infesting. The infesting leaves will turn into infested leaves. And if we hit them with a crook, we start getting silk. And silk we can turn into string. Right, I have a stack of cobble. I'm going to go on this corner. And I'm just going to pillar up. Yes, I did bring it with me. Good. I'm quite well versed in this part of the game, so I'm going quite quick. Even though, you know, the gameplay itself is quite slow. We're going to have to make a few of these pillars yet. Now, when we come back down, using the chicken stick, we turn it into gravel. And there is the 1% chance of the chicken stick making a chicken. I think the last time I played I kept hearing the chicken sounds but I had no idea where they were. Either chickens were just invisible or they were not spawning in correctly. But all I heard was the sounds of the chickens as they spawned in. We have a chicken on our island. There we go. Friend. So that one leaf is now infested. And as you can see, an infested leaf will infest adjacent leaves. The ones it's touching are now currently infesting as well. And then those will infest, and then those will infest, and then those will infest. In the meantime, we're going to carefully access the crafting table. Oh, there's no point in me doing that because I don't have the stone. Just gonna make myself a second pickaxe very quickly before the chicken comes back and shoves me off the edge. Because that is a thing that could probably happen, and knowing my luck it will. And now, while we wait, we're just going to get more of this, and we will start sieving the gravel soon. As you can see, all of the jumping and all of the hammering and mining is draining our hunger, and it does so at a pretty effective rate. Which is why the game gives you apples to begin with as well. Because otherwise you are going to be screwed very quickly. Right, if I've mined that block, I'm going here. Ugh. Sorry, I'm a little tired. I'll probably only do an hour of recording today. Probably do more of it tomorrow. Just get the basics out of the way. If we're very, very lucky, I can get a bucket. But a bucket takes... It's scary how long this all takes. Just to get going with a bucket. Once we are going with it, we're pretty good. We're set. But we have to get there first, and... I miss the harvesting machines I used to have. I got really quite far on One World, and automatic harvesters, and life was good. Life was good. None of the nonsensical starting automatic harvesters, they were not so good. Block breakers are good. The sieves are good. But like the initial tree harvesters, they are not so good. Yeah, now we're catching some speed now that we've got some others infested. So back up the tower we go. Once a tree catches the infection just spreads non-stop. If I got 2 silkworms, I would have infested either side of the tree. And that would have just cut the time in half, pretty much. It would have been great, but... C'est la vie. C'est la vie? Not sure if A is the right French though. What I get for trying to speak French when I don't know French. We get another chicken. Maybe we got another chicken. Maybe we have more friends on the island. We can bait them later. I think you need actual grass blocks. At some point I need to make a grass. So one thing soon, we will have access to Tinker's Construct. And Tinker's Construct will be our main tool set for a very long time. I don't think they have any hammers in them. Check. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I think this is just Tinker's itself, right? Don't think the hammer can actually do this. There's no point going past stone. Certainly not gold, but we can compress some later as well. That might be why I preferred the sieves. So there's X artists for X artists for the automatic sieves and such. What is this made of? Anvils, pressure plate. That's quite possibly cheaper. Var is this so? No, that's fine because I want Tinker's set up before. Yeah. And it seems we only have one chicken friend. So, I believe the whole tree is basically infested. Yeah, I'd say so. Now we crook it, and we gather all of the string, all of the silkworms, because my god, if this thing did not give you silkworms back, it would be a nightmare. So, we have some string. You know what, let me set up the next one, because we're going to need a few of these. Be a taller tree. I thought that was a mutant. Do that, and infest both sides. So, with the string, we can make... No, I've got a hammer there. Find it. Sieves. Heavies. So, oak sieve, for example. I'm going to take 2 silk meshes, which is a 9 string. I think we have. So, 18 to make 2. This, I think it was sticks and planks. No, I need... I'll give me a minute. Give me a minute. There we go. So we can make an oak sieve now. We have an oak sieve. We're going to put this here because I don't want things going off the edge. We can put the gravel in the sieve. We hold right click. And we get given broken pieces of ore. Using 4 pieces of broken ore, we can make copper or gravel. Copper or gravel can be smelted just in a furnace to a copper ingot. Now, there's a lot of different recipes, as you can probably tell. We can see all the different chances of things we're going to get. Diamonds and emeralds with a 1% chance per piece of gravel. Iron has a pretty good chance of dropping, and we're moving into the Iron Age pretty quickly. As you can probably tell though, I don't have any coal, and I don't have a furnace. Furnaces are kind of funky. I don't like the slab furnaces, which are much easier to make. Again, I don't know why, I just do not like half block acetics or something to that effect. I think the slab ones also can't take as much in, so I'm going to make a full furnace. That does mean making a stack of cobble. I think that was apatite, not diamond. Oh, we have a diamond. That is amazing. We need so many of these. Because the auto sieves are tons of stuff. But the auto cameras are something else. Ex-Artis. Ay, you want a fucking machine chassis? Ay. What is this? The fuck is that? So, I've not really looked at this recipe much. It probably catches me off guard every time, right? This is within maybe a couple hours of gameplay, maybe 3, yeah? We're looking at 10 to 20 to be able to do this recipe for the same fucking thing. We could make 100, we could almost have an automatic production by the time we get to this thing. Like that's disgusting. Some of the recipes, hey, do not make a lot of sense. Some of the recipes much later on when you're entering like Draconis and stuff, they are, like, they've got the extreme crafting recipe mods, so they're like 20 by 20 grids or some stupid shit. Yeah, we'll be making an automatic sieve at some point when we've got power and electric going, so that we don't have to do this ourselves. We will be setting up automatic hammers and piping the cobblestone from the block breaker out into them to just do their own thing. And I believe Ex-Artis actually allows for upgrades to the sieves and such, so I'd like to give it a try. The other sieves I use have a automatic and heavy mode. Don't know if these Ex-Artis ones do. We can have a look. So Ex-Artis is just... yeah, so there's a speed upgrade, there's a fortune. Ah, that might be why fortune. So the same cobble, less... yeah. Interesting. End cakes, I think they were really good. Yeah, we'll give them a go. So they have a speed upgrade, so they're only going to take the very basic resources. We don't have to compress them and whatnot. Yeah, I can see why they would be liked quite a bit more in some ways. I've only seen one playthrough of this. I always use the other set, and for them you had to set up a... because I used the heavy versions of it, a heavy version takes a compressed item and gives you back 5 resources for it. So my teenage brain went, oh yeah, so I get 5 back for this and I don't have to do anything, and didn't realise that there were upgrades, and by the time I did I just couldn't be bothered, and then the next times I played I forgot to try them out. But they would take an input of 9, let's say gravel, then they would compress it down. You'd have to make a compression machine, then you'd have to make... oh, they'd have to take the cobble, sorry. Compress the cobble into a compressed cobble, get a hammerer to hammer it into 9 cobble, then compress it again, then send it through the auto heavy sieve to give you back 5 resources. This is okay until you realise that you need a gravel, a sand, and a dust, and for every step further up from what I just described, you needed to add yet another hammer and compressor. So you needed 1 hammer, 2 compressors, and a sieve for gravel. You needed 3 compressors, 2 hammers, and a sieve for sand, and you needed 4 compressors, 3 hammers, and a sieve for dust. With the new one, it seems like I can skip the compressor part entirely. I can upgrade them so they are scalable, and they just take the base resource, so I don't have to do anything in the background. I can just pile the stuff in as it's needed. That seems pretty good. I can do that. Holy, we're getting lucky. Nope, nope, nope. See what I mean? That's my tree. You can't have it. Actually, I think the tree's done. And not quite. We'll give it another couple minutes. Oh. If I was playing with my homebrew, I could throw this diamond into the void and trade it for a emerald into the void and trade it for a diamond, because emeralds at the moment are just useless. I think for this one I will go with absolutely no cheating, so that removes the homebrew rule, because of course to get the diamond I'd have to spawn it in. I will just go as the game was meant to be played, and if we get absolutely screwed by RNG, well, I guess that's my suffering, and you can either skip further ahead to find out when the hell I got it, or just enjoy my suffering. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Now we have our first 4 ingots of copper if I want them. I think we should have we got a decent amount of iron too. Really put this here. Once we've finished this, we will sort out our tree friend here, and then the tree we will probably plant another one. I'm going to use the standard and then the heavy sieves going into this, because I do not want to mess around. Actually, I'm going to have less need diamonds if I'm not going for those sieves, because the X asterisk doesn't need them, does it? It wants more iron, right? Yeah, it wants blocks of iron. So iron is probably going to not be my friend. If we happen to get 1 diamond in this last set, I will be so chuffed though, because I can make a block breaker. Please don't make me suffer too much, game. It's probably going to make me suffer. I mean, the fact we have 2 diamonds is already ahead of the curve. Yep, the game wants me to suffer. Oh well, suffering shall begin. So we will resolve this tree, but we will need another crook. I want to go with a heavy sieve because while it's more inefficient, it is much better for my time, because it takes a lot less time to sieve these normally. I need to go from the top because it will lose connection to the tree otherwise. We have 9 silkworms now, so we're doing much better. So we will plant another tree, bone meal it up. We will silkworm that corner and silkworm that corner. And it is raining. I fear you no longer rain, and you will find out what I mean later. Oh, you know what, now's a good enough time to explain it. So soon we will need to gather clay, and clay can only be gathered by putting, well, at this stage of the game at least, I don't know about later, you put dust that you can get from the cobblestone by hammering it down into dust, yeah, you put that into a barrel, but the barrel has to be full of water to make it clay. In the past, and I didn't realise this for far too long, I would wait for rain to fill up the barrel, and you'd get about, I want to say the rain would fill up the barrels about 10 times over. So you needed 4 barrels constantly on the go, and you had to keep your eye on them to make sure that the barrels filled. What I didn't know about those barrels is if you get a glass bottle, you can fill it from that water source on the right and move the water into the barrel. The reason all of this is such a problem is because there's no early game bucket. That is the only water source I am going to have until I get a bucket and can move everything. And trust me, we will move everything once we get a bucket. I do not like these sorts of positions. The generator might stay down. No, the generator will come up with me probably. But sorting out dirt and moving it up into the upper section we're going to make, yeah, it's going to take a bit. I think we'll leave this platform down here just in case anything happens to a bed that we end up making later and trying to set our spawn point. If the bed gets destroyed, so does the spawn point. So if we destroy this and then we start spawning in the void, we will just fall to the void. Then we were doing the avoid cheating challenge. Because I'm pretty certain I've cheated in every single run of this I've ever done because I was spawning diamonds for the emeralds. That chicken gave me an egg. Thank you very much, chicken. It's very kind of you. Right. Well, we do have enough now to compress all of this. 8 compressed cobblestone. Make a furnace shape and make a standard furnace out of over a stack of cobble. Is one of the most expensive furnaces you will ever see. Definitely not worth it, but I care not for the half slab furnaces. If you try and make a normal furnace, it will give you the half slab one. It is a fun mod pack, I promise. I'm not suffering. And I don't hate myself much. Too much. I probably hate myself a bit too much. Oh well. I'm looking forward to the bottle method and not caring about this rain right now. If I did not know about this bottle method, you would see me scrambling at the moment because of this rain. Setting up the barrels, making sure I've got the dust ready to go. Is bliss. I'm not worrying about that. It is bliss. We need a new pickaxe. We will make 2. 1 for now, 1 for spare. Yeah, I want to get to another 2 stacks of this, I think. And hopefully we can make a block breaker on our next go. If we can make the wonderful, wonderful block breaker, we will. I believe every version of block breaker does require a diamond pickaxe for the craft, so you are stuck until you have 3 diamonds either way. So we are doing this until we get yet another diamond. Don't worry, later down the line we get to do this with sand. A lot of sand. Right, we'll go with this stack and then I think we can come back down for the tree. I want to say the tree shouldn't catch fire, but I forget if Minecraft logic works like that or not. I feel like in some variation of the Minecraft game it does, but we're going back to the time before the evolution of combat, basically. Like, we've got enchantments, as you might have noticed with the open blocks enchanting, but we still attack by spam clicking. See what I mean about the chicken sounds? That was just a dead chicken. Did it just spawn in the block and there's another? Are they just spawning in the blocks and dying? Because there ain't no chickens here. There ain't no food. It might just be the chicken stick is playing tricks on me. Maybe it is the chicken stick making the sounds and not the chickens themselves. I do not know. I do not know. So, let's set up crooking. Because we need a lot of this for the heavy mesh later. Because we still have a lot to do by hand. The automatic ones do not kick in all that quickly. Upsetting. Yeah, a trick I've learnt with crooking these. If I crooked here, I'd lose all of this. So always start on a corner and you will end on an edge. Just quick tip. Alright, fine. Chop chop. Okay. We have a decent amount of string. We can... I don't think we're going to get it, but... we are ever so slightly short, because the silk meshes need to be turned into heavy meshes. So we need to do one more tree, I think. Ah. You know what? Not that tree. Not this tree. Take the wood from this tree. I guess this one didn't want to be infested either. Understandable. I think that's understandable. There we go. An infestable tree. So you have more than enough silkworms now really as well, so just spam them a bit. Put that in there, that in there, that in there, and we will now eat our apples. So the reason I held off so long on eating anything is there is a second hunger bar in the background to Minecraft. There's like one that goes over top of it generally when they show that off. And that hunger bar in the background also counts as your hunger bar, so it's like a saturated bar, I think it's called. And if your saturation bar runs out, you start losing the hunger bar. So there is technically 2 hunger bars to Minecraft, and you should pay attention to that if you can. Interestingly enough, the meats in the game tend to fill saturation more than actual hunger. So if you can have meats will generally sort saturation out in 2 bites. 2 pieces of food will sort your saturation generally. Actually, does it say? Does this say? No. Wellington. We'll probably try and make that later. I'd think that'd be fun. I think the beef Wellington was like the second best food source, behind like Epic Bacon or something. Right, we got a diamond. I am not doing the rest of that. How do we make a block breaker? Does it need the redstone? So as you can see, we have a block breaker from Minefactory Reloaded, which requires power, so it's already out, and it's expensive. Plastic sheets are nothing to scoff at. We have a block breaker from Project Red, which is an iron pickaxe. Okay. Maybe I should try that? I don't know if that's like automated or not, but yet. Block breaker from Open Blocks. Does need redstone. It needs 5 cobble, 2 iron, and a diamond pickaxe. For the iron we can get easily. There is also one other block breaker as well. That block breaker is transfer node. This transfer node from Extra Utilities. This will it will break blocks if you put something in front of it, but to do that, the world interaction upgrade has to be provided, which is lapis, iron and diamond. So you're stuck either way, and you need a lot more redstone for that one, of which I have not started gathering. So we are going to try this much for the redstone, I think. And if I remember right, it is redstone from dust. It is redstone dust, so it is not there, so we need to do dust. I'm going to be so happy if we get our block breaker within the hour. We got 6 minutes. Come on, give me some redstone. Oh, we got it. Was that it? We just needed 1, right? Yeah. So I'm going to... I think I can do tiny coal? Yeah, tiny coal. Uncompressed coal, sorry. And that should give us our iron. We have our sticks for the pickaxe. We're going to make some more sticks, but we need some cobble. We need 6 cobble. And under no circumstances can we mine with the diamond pickaxe, because again, durability 1, it's only crafting, nothing else. But we're going to make this, and with our extra stick, a lever. 3, 4, because this is also halved, so you're getting half sticks and half planks, by the way. A fucking pain for the entire game, but it is what it is. Ah, that's probably the French word. Que sera, sera. That's probably what I was trying to say. What the hell did I say before? Straight into the chest. 55 minutes, 40 seconds, block breaker, online. And we don't have to worry about this, we just have to hear this horrible sound for the rest of eternity. I'm going to turn that off. Here we got some more redstone, nice. I am looking forward to... Actually, can I do that now? I can make torches, right? Yeah. That is flashing my screen far too much, and I hate it. So I'm going to finish sieving this. Possibly sorting my inventory a little bit. And yeah, I'll probably end the recording for tonight. Sorry, I just don't have the energy to keep going at the moment. I want to start this, I want to get it going. But I'm so tired. I've been doing a lot recently. I think with what I'm doing, I'm going to become a lot healthier and I'll be able to actually be a lot more awake a lot more of the time. I haven't really needed anywhere near as many midday naps recently, which has been much nicer. Hopefully that was just like a hay fever thing or something then. Who knows? And that might have gone away yet, I don't know. We will find out as the year goes on, and you'll probably hear me when I get really frustrated at it. Right, we have no extra diamonds. That is either platinum or diamond. I do like the platinum. When we get to Tinker's, I will be making something called shiny tools, and it is just platinum. Platinum is basically used for nothing, but it's so good in Tinker's. It's... You don't really need anything better from Tinker's for this entire playthrough, because there's nothing better to mine. As simple as that, there's just not much better to mine. Over here we are. Sometimes it's giving nothing. Because I didn't have acquire hardware before, we just got diamonds. Okay, let's put the emerald in, the egg in. The mesh we can actually probably deal with now, can't we? As we can crook this down. And we'll finish the episode on making the heavy sieve, I guess. Which will move us into the compressed stage of the game. And the compressed stage is a lot more fun than what we were just doing. We had some really lucky rolls, because I have been here for hours at times, just stacks, and I mean stacks and stacks of gravel looking for diamonds and emeralds. This was a very lucky run and I am very happy. I'm going to move all of the dusty stuff in here. Now something else we can do. This crook and this crook, we can combine their durability. Silkworm. Silkworms in, because we hopefully won't be needing them. Now, if I remember right, is which means it is actually either this way to here, Go this way? No? It is sticks. Okay. There we go. Heavy. And once this hits 9, so 4, 5, 6. Once this gets to a row, we can do an entire compressed set and the harvest set. Oh, there's another silkworm there. And the compressed we will get for building up all the way up a stack and coming back down and then recompressing it all. We will have 64 times 5 chances, so it's much more efficient use of our time, but at the same time not really doing a lot else, so we might just do a stack. We'll see. I'm gonna go play around with this and figure out which sound the block breaker's on, and if not I might add a noise muffler, because that is going to get very tiring as the game goes on. Trust me, this will never end. Yeah, catch you next time.